and welcome. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina program, and welcome to 2025. And January's flies are due. We've decided that we're going to try to do 2 flies per month for 2025 and see how that works. And part 1 of January flies is the Partridge in Orange. The hooks we are using for this fly is wet fly, Sproat fly, size 14. Sprout hook, I'm sorry. The thread we are using is Danville 70 dinar. Color orange. We are using Peacock Hurl. And then we are going to use, again, we used this several times last year, Partridge feathers. So let's get started. And you want to put the hook at the very top of the vise without doing that. Definitely have to be careful because of these flying hooks. And it's expensive to be shooting hooks all over the place. So what we want to do is we want to start the thread 1 eye length behind the eye. And we're just going to bring it all the way down to the bend of the hook with touching wraps. And right when you get to about the hook point is where you want to, where I'm going to remove the tag. You can carry it all the way down if you want. So what we want to do is we want to bring this around the hook point, because the hook point will cut this thread or a couple strands of it, and if you put any tension on it, then it will break. So once you reach the point to where you want to in the end of the fly, bring it forward with touching wraps. And you can see right there to where I hit that hook point, and it did fray some of the fibers. So just be careful and take your time. So we're doing our touching wraps all the way forward to our starting point. And right there, okay. And then we're going to do touching wraps backwards. And essentially this is the body of the fly. And just want it to be nice and uniform. You can see where I did a double wrap. Yep. Okay. And we're just going to go around that hook point to the tail. Okay. And now we're just going to bring it back. It looks like I need a wrap or 2 in here. Yep. And you can hear it hitting that hook point. Okay. So just take your time and bring it forward. Right about there. So now I'm going to grab my Peacock Hurl, and depending on how big of strands you're using, this is my 3rd piece, the 3rd fly from 1 piece. So definitely do not throw away the waste. Alright, make sure it's in, and we're going to bring it forward and secure it. And that looks good. So now let's get this thread out of the way. I'm just going to wrap it with touching wraps. Make it look nice and pretty. And you want to stop it where you started your thread. And right there looks good. Okay. So go ahead and secure it with a couple wraps, like so. And a lot of people like to pluck this off. I do not like to do that because sometimes it can move underneath the under your thread wraps. Okay, I'm going to bring it forward, make sure we got everything good to go. Now I'm going to bring the thread back. And this is where we're going to tie in our partridge feather, if I can find it. Yeah, there we go. And here's our partridge feather. And what we want to do is we want to remove all the fuzzy stuff out. No, we gotta find another one. You've got to be careful with the partridge feather because it does not, if you try to manhandle it too much, it will not react very well to you. So we're removing all the fuzzies right there. And here's our feather, bare stem. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to find our tying point. So what I'm going to do is we'll go pinch the tip and work these feathers back like so. And that looks like a good tying point. I'm going to remove that little guy right there. Okay, and so what we want to do is we want to remove the feathers on the back end of it. So here we have our tying point, which is right here, and these feathers will just kind of go away. We'll pluck them out now. You got to be careful when you get close to the stem because you can and will remove part of the stem, and that will create havoc for you later. So now we have our tying point, which is right here, and so let's go ahead and tie it in. And I like to stick the feather underneath the eye, right there, and secure it with several wraps. So now what we want to do is we want to remove the remainder. We want to do this very carefully. Don't want to cut the other feather, the other part of the feather, and you certainly don't want to cut your thread. So that looks good, and let's just make sure everything is cinched down. That looks pretty good. So now what we want to do is we want to grab our hackle pliers that we love to use. I hate these things so much. Okay, so now let's just take it, and we are just going to do one. Get our fibers. Separate them. 1 to 2 wraps. Like so. Okay. And we'll get these fibers separated once we get the hackle tied in. And then what you want to do is you just want to secure the partridge down pretty good with a couple wraps. Alright, so now we can remove that. And there will be some trimming. And kind of play with the fibers and see what's going to work for you and what's not. I don't like that one, so that's got to go. Okay, and the reason you want to do this now is because you're going to build up the head, and it's kind of difficult to do it afterwards. So I like that, except for that one. Let's see if we can force him back. Yeah, we did. Okay. And essentially, we're just going to build up this head. And remember, we're going to come back and we're going to manipulate the feather to work for us, because it is very sticky, and the fibers do stick together. But when it's going in the water, it's going to separate. So from here, what we want to do, put our whip finish in it, secure our work. Four to 5 for the first. Get the fibers out of the way so you don't get them in that loop. And another set. And then I'd like to bring the whip finish up on the top to where we can actually manipulate these fibers just a little bit. We don't want to wrap over them and force them back. And like so. Take our thread and remove it. And there we have the Partridge orange. And you can manipulate the fibers of the feather, move them around. But like I said, once this gets into water, it's going to be doing some other stuff. Because essentially it's going to be pushing down. And fish are going to eat it, regardless. There is our Partridge orange. And that's one of 2 flies I will be teaching in February. If you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comment section of this page. If the material list will be there as well. We thank you for watching. If you like what you're seeing, please like and share. We'll get one more veterans out there possibly interested in fly fishing, and also as the educational benefit of getting our message to other fly fishermen or women. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina, signing off again. Thank you very much for watching, and happy holidays.